Hello everyone, Pallytime here with TGN.TV. This is the continuation of my series where I try to make Dark Souls easy for all of the new players out there. In today's video we're going to be covering how to defeat the Hydra. There's two Hydras in the game, and this strategy will work relatively the same for both of the Hydras, but in today's video we're going to be focusing on the one in the forest. So what do you need going into this? Well, you want a melee weapon that will do a decent amount of damage, and in my personal preference you want a melee weapon that has a fast swing with it too. The big two-handed weapons will work, but I just prefer to get in more hits. Then you need a shield with physical protection, high physical protection, and the highest stability that you can get. And then on top of that, you're going to need a bow of some kind for the strategy that I'm showing today. So on the screen right now, we're walking over to the merchant in the Undead Burg, or the Undead, yeah, it's the Undead Burg. And we're purchasing the short bow and a few hundred arrows. You're not going to need that many arrows, but they're always good to have just for a rainy day. Now that you have your bow, you want to make your way out to the forest. There's going to be 4 golems in front of the Hydra that you have to deal with first. A lot of people will make the mistake their first time in of running straight ahead to fight the golems, and that will actually aggro the Hydra and he will shoot at you while you're fighting them. And there's plenty of players that can cope with that just fine, but it's definitely not the easiest thing for a new player to deal with. So use your bow. You're going to be pulling 4 of these guys back one at a time and killing them all before you progress forward. Once you've defeated all of the golems, make your way up the left side approaching the Hydra. There's part of the mountain that you can use to actually block most of the projectiles that the Hydra is going to be shooting at you. Really makes approaching the boss much easier. That's one of the hardest parts, just getting up to the boss. So you want to go up the left side, use the mountain, and when you see an opening in between attacks, you want to run diagonal towards the water and make your way to an item that's located on the shore. Once you make it to this area, you need to make sure that you're keeping your shield up at all times. The boss will transition away from ranged attacks and start to pummel you into the ground with their many faces. You need to keep your shield up, and as long as your endurance passes the endurance check and your shield will block enough of physical damage, you should have no problems from here on out. Block the attack, then switch to your weapon, put it in both hands, start chopping away at the necks of this Hydra, and they will start to fall off one by one. Usually with this strategy, you'll run into a problem where there will be only 2 heads remaining, and they are the heads located on the right side. Now the problem with this is when the boss tries to slam its face into the ground at you, it won't land anywhere near you, and it becomes incredibly difficult to do melee attacks here. Now there are other ways to remedy this. Typically moving to the left on the shoreline will change the positioning of the Hydra, but honestly the easiest way to deal with this is just switch to that bow that you purchased earlier, stand on the item in the water that has been our home base throughout this entire fight, and start chipping away at the necks of the Hydra with your ranged weapon. Eventually you'll do enough damage, all of the heads of the Hydra will fall off, and you just beat one of the most difficult mini-bosses in Dark Souls. Alright guys, that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you found it helpful if you were looking for help. Nonetheless, if you did enjoy today's video, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button below. Leave me a comment down below as well, and if you're new to my channel, I encourage you to subscribe. Okay, bye.